Hey guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader here, and as you can see, I'm just kicking back and chilling in my backyard. It's a beautiful day in South Florida, and frankly, I've been doing a lot of that lately. Swimming, going to art shows, playing tennis, laying by the pool, catching up on my reading, and doing everything but trading. So this is kind of what I want to talk about a little bit today. I've been a stay-at-home trader for going on almost 20 years now. And this was the balance that I always had to find within myself. We lead a very unconventional life as traders. This morning I was out watering my garden, and I'm watching all my neighbors getting in their car, preparing to go off to a day of work. And so this creates a certain conflict where you're out of balance, you feel out of harmony with the rest of the world. Maybe your spouse is off to work and now you feel guilty that you're just laying by the pool or tending to your gardening or doing whatever, but everything but working. And I think it's this kind of conflict that forces traders perhaps to look too closely, to overtrade, to feel like they need to do something. And I think the most important component of trading is actually yourself. We think so much of strategy. We need an edge. We obviously need to follow certain protocols. We need to observe patterns or whatever we think we need to do. But ultimately, the governing factor is you, and you have to always take stock of where you're at. So beginning, in May of last year, I started really just literally killing it in the market, making an untold fortune. I think I told you guys I saw a setup in Facebook when Facebook dropped out of the sky, dropped from $195 to $150. I felt that was a false breakout based on certain technical patterns that I've explained. And I started positioning myself initially in the stock at $150, and then in the call options when it hit about $160. And I was buying these far out of the money calls, the 180, the 182 and a half, 185 calls. Bought the Facebook 185 calls, some of them for 30 cents. And they eventually ran to $4.50. I made about 15 times just on that series. And so in about 2 weeks' time, I made about $500,000. And then a couple weeks later, I turned around, shorted Tesla, and made about $300,000 in 3 days. And then beginning in October, I started to alert you guys of a major reversal in the U.S. stock market. And I started buying put options on the indexes. I started shorting stocks like NVIDIA and Apple. And between October and January, I just made a boatload of money. But there was tremendous volatility. It absorbed tremendous capacity, and it was exhilarating. I was making a lot of money, and it was also exhilarating. But now I'm sitting here in mid-February or so, and I feel that my burners are running low, that I'm somewhat worn out, that if the same pattern in Facebook showed up today, I probably wouldn't have the same mental capacity, disposition, to sit in that trade, stick it out, and make the kind of money I did, just because I'm where I'm at. I feel somewhat worn down, and so I need to rest. I need to reset. And again, this is one of the things that I did, previously when I was young. I would make huge amounts of money, and then you'd feel on top of the earth. You'd feel like this master of the universe kind of feeling, and that you were invincible, and that you've made all this money and now you're just going to go on and make more. And I found inevitably that I gave back a large amount after those periods. So it's the old saying, to thine own self be true. You got to know yourself, know your capacity, know your limitations, and there's no need to to step on it. I always find that when I take a little time off, sometimes 3 days, could be 3 weeks, sometimes even 3 months, that when I come back, I see things so much more clearly, and I'm able now to go and realize the things that I'm seeing in the market. Now, there's always the perfectionist in me, where I know I'll go and look at a chart here and there and kick myself that I, would have, taken advantage of that move. I would have seen that move. And so this is the constant rebalancing that we have to find within ourselves. And only you know yourself. You have to realize where you're at. If you're going through any kind of personal turmoil, you have to separate that. You can't separate that from your trading. You're not a machine. You're not a robot. With all of these things in the background, they do come into play within your trading. And you really, it's just like eating. It's not like thinking about what you're eating, but thinking about what you're thinking when you are eating, because those emotions, drive certain behavior. So you have to think, are you able to identify a trade and then sit in that trade for 3 days or 3 weeks to watch it fulfill its objective? Or are you at another stage where you're feeling anxious, where you're feeling fearful, whatever that may be, and the minute it makes a 30 pip move, you're likely just to jump out of that trade? And I feel that's where I am right now. I feel that I don't have the same kind of capacity, even if I identified a trade, to sit in it